Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Turk, and today we're gonna cover the 3 courses that I said that I was gonna cover 2 weeks ago. Things got in the way, sorry. I was trying to make my room look a little more presentable. Some of the lighting stuff in here with the help of the one and only Richard King. Today we're gonna cover those 3 courses. We're gonna talk about the world's schedule, exactly 2 weeks away from the biggest stage in Golden Tee. Let's go ahead and get into it. We're gonna start with Desert Valley today. I will be doing more of a walkthrough than just blind look because I have already played these 3 courses a few times. For those of you that are wondering, we're gonna show the clubs on screen, what clubs I'm using, what changes I've made to my bag for this course. And as most of you know, I play Cosmos on this course. Last tee's Gunnison was the only course that I changed to Stouts for, but this tees, I'm not seeing any, wow, that was terrible. I'm not seeing any need for it, especially with hole 1 and hole 2 being very gettable. And down the middle. So yeah, all Cosmos, at least for now. I didn't want to make any big changes before Worlds, so we're gonna stick to it. We're gonna do all Cosmos. However, in the future, if you want me to make other walkthrough videos with Stouts, I'm more than capable to, and I would love to. So if you want to see that on this channel, make sure to drop in the comments below. And yeah, I will get to it. So right now you can see the clubs on. I will show the club set that I use on this course on the screen. And the only change I've made for this course is taking out the 7 driver and putting in the 300-yard 9.5 driver, because I'm seeing that I don't really have a use for the 7 driver for this course. So I wanted to put the 9.5 driver, especially the 300 one, which goes just as far as the 310-yard one. For, I believe it was hole 14. Hole 14 got a definitely different look. In my opinion, it's a little harder than it was before. So you need the distance with the elevation, and 8.5 wasn't doing the job. This is one of the holes definitely I can say that got a different look. It used to be a lot closer, probably about 30 to 40 yards. So this is actually pretty good. I mean, I like it. I like the new tees. I'm really enjoying it. I got to play, I believe, like 40 to 50 rounds, maybe even 60. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what's gonna happen at Worlds and how people are gonna play them. And honestly, it's always nice to go to tournaments after the new tee releases, because you end up seeing like what other players have come up with for certain holes. Because people definitely in Golden Tee, they're very innovative. So a lot of people, like you end up seeing a lot of people coming up with new shots that you might not have thought of. So you definitely run into those folks at the tournament that try different shots, and they're like, hey, you know, come check this out. This is one of those looks that are definitely a little different. We used to be on the back right, and we would go on the right side of the trees. This time it's on the left side. Although it's not the same trees. I think it used to be all the way to the right over these trees, I believe. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. So, like I said, we can do some Stouts videos. Let me know. And I was thinking maybe we could even do like click chipping tutorial, you know? I know that Paul Taylor already released a click chipping video, but the technique that I use is a little different than his, especially the pullback is different. Oh, that was not good at all. The pullback is different, the hit is different. So the yardages are different. I'm thinking about releasing a video where I can explain a different approach, especially on the forward swing, when it comes to calculating your distance and how you can manage to hit one shot with different clubs with different distances. Uh-oh, that's not good. Let's see. Get in. So yeah, we're covering these 3 courses today, re-teed courses that got re-teed. And in my opinion, there's one course out of the 3 that got much more difficult than it was before. I mean, I don't even know if it was really that difficult before. And that course being Elkhorn Ridge. I don't think there's a huge difference between the old tees in Celtic versus the new tees. However, that has seen some changes, different looks, a couple of different shots, but it's still fairly easier than Elkhorn. So if I was to rank like easier to harder, it would definitely be Desert, Celtic, and Elkhorn for sure. Now again, it's just a personal opinion. Other players might consider them differently. So, but yeah, if you're enjoying this content, if you're enjoying this video, make sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and I would really appreciate if you dropped your comments in the comments here below on YouTube, as it definitely helps the video to get out to more viewers on YouTube. Uh-oh, thought it was gonna be another one. Another one. So there's not much to talk about early on Desert Valley. Like this hole definitely got a little longer and, you know, different wind setups. And I'm starting to see the pin on the left end of this green more often than the last tees. This is definitely one of the most challenging holes on this course. I like to, most of the time, keep it safe. Try to leave it in the middle of the green and take a putt. Excuse me. However, there are certain setups where you can get a little more aggressive, try to stick it in the small part of the green and get away with it. So this is one of those shots. There's a lot of wind behind us. I'm gonna try to leave it in the middle of the green, a little to the right, and probably take a 30 to 40, maybe 50 feet putt. I definitely don't want to get aggressive. However, let's take a look with the forward. I can definitely just overpower, not much, but just a little bit with the forward and use bites and try to get to the left of the spin, which has a bigger area. Or I can try to leave it on the right side using backspin on 3-wood and try to stop the ball. in that wider area. But let's get aggressive for the sake of the video, for the love of the game, and try to stop this ball with bite using 4-wood. And too much. So this is definitely what I was afraid of. If I was at a tournament, I would definitely opt to go towards the middle of the green. And again, try to play a safe shot. So we're gonna use the punch option. It's still gonna get high enough, but with the wind in our face, I think we're gonna have to pull back thumb this pretty hard. And landage pretty good. Forward swing was off to the right, which explains how the ball landed to the right. So this is the hole that I was talking about. There are definitely a couple of different approaches here. You can go 2-turn full with Cosmos from the left side, from this opening right here between those two sets of trees. And that's usually been my shot, what I've been going with. However, early on, I believe it was like Monday or Tuesday, first couple days of the tees coming out, I was able to shoot through this gap right here with high tee and land it on the green or right before on the rough and just let the ball trickle down. So those are a couple of your options. I haven't gone from right to left all the way like far out. I haven't seen a setup that's good for it. But this is the hole that I actually put a 9.5 driver for, where it could be pretty long. I don't want to go like where the marker is right now. Sometimes the pin is right there. The wind is blowing left to right. I don't want to hit a 10.5 because it's going to get too high. I don't want to hit 8. It's going to go too far if I use high tee. So 9.5, I thought it would be the best option. However, I haven't been able to use that yet. So I think right here, like I said, I'm going to use a 3-wood and try to get right through the middle of those two trees on the right. And let's try it. So pin is at 340. 3-wood goes 295. We need to gain about 40 yards, maybe a little more than that, but we can just land before it and deal with it that way. We're gonna put bite. I don't want a lot of elevation, but I want some. And that's it. Please work. Yep, so a little harder, definitely. If we were to replay this, we had a decent 180. A little harder would take this directly on to the green, but this is kind of the shot I was explaining, I was talking about, where you can always land on the rough if you have a lot of room on the green and just let it trickle down, especially on this hole. And this wind, I mean, the wind setup is just so forgiving for the shot that we were selecting. Get in. Let's go. So yeah, next we're gonna play Celtic, and also I might end this video with some invites. We'll see, you know, where we're gonna be at as far as the timing of the video. I don't want to make it too long. Last one was, I believe, 1.5 hours. So I wanted to keep it right under or about at an hour. So, but as y'all know, I'm doing a little walkthrough. I'm not explaining every single hole, but it's kind of hard to keep the video pretty short. This hole, I think I'm seeing like a lot of players struggle with. They try to hit it too long, and they get pretty close to this sand hill right here, or whatever hill that is. Try to leave yourself back. And this is just such a big green. You can come up with all kinds of shots. There's like no reason to get risky. Just leave yourself within 20, 30 feet for a putt and you're good. Another massive change on this course was definitely this hole. As y'all remember, we were on the left side and we would get a lot of different crosswinds. I feel like this, because we were facing the green on the shorter side of it. So this green, this look is definitely more forgiving. I like it. It's different. It's definitely like on the first 5 courses, I feel like the looks weren't as like very different, right? And it made everybody feel like we were just playing the same thing over and over. So this is pretty good. I like it. All right, 230, 16 in our face. 6 wood would be pretty short. 5 would be pretty good. I think I'm gonna do a little 5 release with 180 to the right and just keep the ball on the green on top. I don't care to get aggressive here. That's a lot of wind and I don't want to water. So now that we said that, all right, let's do it. And just like that. So put in the release, or I mean, I could have probably left it naked for more of an aggressive shot. But it worked out. Alrighty, hole 18. I've seen a lot of people click chip this. All I have to say is, yeah, crazy. It's actually, I mean, not a bad look, right? But the problem with the click chip here is you're gonna have to use a driver or maybe a 3 wood. And if you don't, the pin is very close to the edge. If you don't pick the right club and hit it at the right speed, hit the ball at the right speed, you can trickle off the end. And that's just giving up 2 strokes for no reason. So yeah, it's just not my selection. It wouldn't be, I don't think. All right. We're gonna turn one right. We're at about, it's about 16 right to left. We're at -6, so we're at a 6 disadvantage, right? So I'm gonna pull for 8. I'm gonna try to land on the right side of the cup and trickle up. And we don't have to crush this ball. We just need to land on the green right before the pin. And, oh, wow. And I did crush that ball when I said we weren't going to. Punch, just put it up there, take your medicine, move on. 2 better turns into 3 worse. So what's the par? Gotta be 3 worse. 30, so 32 turned into 30. All right, no problem, move on. Celtic Shores. I can't remember if I made any changes to my bag on this course. And I think I have the 7 driver on this bag right here. I don't even know if you really need it. We definitely need the longer ones, the 8.5. Yeah, I do have a 7 here. So all my bags are gonna be listed right now on the screen as as we get ready to tee off right here. And if you have any suggestions, any shots that you may have come up with, or any clubs that might be useful for any hole on any course, let me know. Let me know in the comments. But that was awful. I should probably stop yapping and play the game. 27. Let's see, 27, let's say 26, half of that is 13, so this is at about 40 yards. 40 yards, that would be a 10 clicker for me with 8 iron. Why not? Actually, I'm gonna do 9, because I do have a big green, and I'm gonna try to crush this to get over the hill that's right in front of me. There it is, no problem. Free points, we'll take it. And that was definitely awful overshot, but we recovered, so. Moving on, hole 3, the next hole will be very different of a look. Again, I appreciate it from a player standpoint. When things are different looks, and for somebody who wasn't as successful on that course, on that hole specifically, so IT, thank you. And Kevin Lindsay. And Sean Ticknor. Because as you all know, Sean Ticknor is the guy. If you ever need help with your Golden Tee account, you're missing tees, clubs, or if you're running into any bugs, yeah, Sean Ticknor, hit him up. He's on Golden Tee Fan Facebook group. So as I open my mouth and say that this hole, the setups have been shorter than before, we end up with the longer one. Actually, the longest one I've seen, maybe. So I'm gonna opt to go with a full with 2 turns, with 8.5, and try to bite it. Backspin would have been pretty good. Drag the ball up the hill and move on. So hole 6 is going to be another different one on this course. 17 is a different look, although it's on the same side of the mountain. It's just a little longer than before, so it's one of those. It's going to be different. It's definitely harder because it's longer, especially when it's downhill, downwind, whatever you want to call it. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the approach I'm taking on that hole, especially. And especially when you have wind in your face, right? Huge wind in your face, huge drop. Things play a little different. So let's see. Wind is to the right. We have some left slope. I like to leave this kind of almost dead straight with the wind to the pin. But I want to have just a tad bit right wind, right? So I'm going to try to leave this right up here instead of trying to get closer so that I can hit almost about a dead straight of a shot with thumbs. Maybe baby this 8 wood with the drop right here. It's like about a 10-mile-an-hour wind in my face. And yeah, this is gonna have to be an 80-mile-an-hour shot. Let's see. 79, we'll take it. And okay. I did say dead straight. I didn't hit it dead straight, so that's definitely on me. Definitely on me. Hole 18 is a little different on this course. I just thought about that. This one is a different look, but it's Definitely much safer than the original tees that's on Celtic. We used to be, I say we, not that I played these courses back in the day. We used to be right in this big box that you see. Those are the older tee boxes, the square ones. And you would have to hit it through the window, through one of the openings. And it wasn't very fun, to be honest with you. It wasn't very fun. All right, we're definitely going with a swerve here. Probably a high tee. I might even want to leave this naked. High tee, just baby this with a big cut, big swerve, and just get around it. Just get around it, trickle down, take a putt downhill, move on. Now that I think about it, I could have hit it harder with a bigger cut, backspin, and get an opportunity. So, all right. I like these short. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a crackhead that's going to try to click chip this. I can already see that, but I'm not going for that. This is actually a really good look for a full, for a 9-iron full. So we're gonna try that. And we're gonna have to slam thumb this. I'm thinking 117, 114, and no good. Definitely needed more distance. More distance, more spin. What else? What else? Oh yeah, this is a little different, I guess, much easier to lay up, but I mean, it was never hard anyway. So another one of those that just needs to be left downhill. I'm gonna do backspin. And I think I like going to the right to get a little closer. So right about there. This is usually the general area where I like to land at. You can go a little further down the hill. If you want to get closer, you can go a little to the right. You can also get closer down here, but then you're facing a bigger elevation. So you're gonna have to get the club all the way up there. So it makes the shot a little tougher. I like this area. It's higher. It's, you know, pretty dead straight. Although you're offset, that's the only bad part. But I don't mind this shot. And I should mind this shot. Okay, no click chip. We're gonna play this safe and just put it up there. No reason to get cute. That hill is pretty steep, pretty high. No reason to get cute. This is one of those that we were talking about. So it's a little different of a look. I think this 8.5, I don't know if I ever hit an 8.5 over this hill. On the left side, maybe. On this right side, so on the higher side, it won't make it, although this pin is on the right on the drop, right where the hill drops. So we might be pretty good. I'm gonna go for it. We're gonna learn together. We're gonna figure it out. As far as distance, it should get there, but I'm not sure about the elevation. If this doesn't work, then we might have to get rid of the 7 and put a 309.5, just like we did on Desert Valley. Let's figure it out. And pretty good. Let's check it out. I didn't even hit it with a straight line. That gets pretty high actually. And I didn't max it out. So looks like it's pretty good. No harm, no foul. So I usually hit like a 10.5 on that, or 3 wood, but with the pin being in the back and wind in the face, we needed the 8.5 for sure. This is another one of those you can lay all the way in the back where right before the drop, right? Or you can try to drive this. I use 7 driver as we talk about it. This is the main use I have for it on this course. I like to drive this ball with the 7 driver on the face of the hill, right here, that ramp, and the ball gets pretty high. And I've been meaning to try the release and see if it works better. Because release usually, if it's high T, especially with that driver, release tends to go up and not come back. Roll, it still goes up, but it keeps that bounce, so it will bounce back a little bit. So that's one thing to definitely keep in mind. So soft, send it out there, but don't hit it like a Turk. So decent shot, safe. We could have gotten aggressive. Wow, I didn't think talking this much would get me this thirsty. Another one of those good looks. I like this 10 mile an hour wind. It's like 7 in our face, 7 to the right. The exact calculations of this wind. I like this one. I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pull back in the box and actually maybe like 3/4 of the way and hit a little swerve. And see if it comes back. Okay, that was a little bit more than a little bit, but it's okay. Let's move on. Another hole that got a slightly different look. A couple different things. Big green here. You can always go for right to left swerve here, or you can just hit it straight up, straight over the hill. Even if you don't get there, you can try to figure out a chip. But this much wind, pretty easy. I mean, forward going 280, 14 behind us. That gives us about 295 with the drop. I mean, I like this. I think instead of hitting a 180, I'm gonna crush a swerve here, left to right, and try to get a decent putt or even make it. Although it's gonna be hard. And too long. Please get there. Thank you. Alrighty. So another one of those, this hole didn't really get a different look, but I have been trying a different shot that I've seen. Can't remember who it was, sorry. If I'm not giving the credit to the right person. Just putting the ball over here with high T release with 7 driver, and then just shooting this ball over the hill. The reason why I like it is it definitely, when you shoot this shot, it cuts about like 40% of this wind because there's no air time. There's not as much air time for the ball while it's traveling from the club to the hole or from where we are to the hole. So you don't get affected by the wind as much as you normally would do if you were to hit it from the hill to the left with a 250 plus yard shot. So I'm gonna try this. See, this is the thing. We're too close. 5 hybrid is too low. 8 wood looks like it's pretty long, but again, it's not gonna get much air time, but I'm gonna try to add a little swerve to this and cut its distance and see how it works. Okay, it's not bad. I guess it's usually a better option if the pin is all the way in the back, down to the right. But from the other look, it would be to the left. Get in. Let's move on. We're down one. Gotta make up for that. I don't know where we're gonna pick up that stroke, but we need to pick up that stroke. All right, let's do it. Turn. Come on. Good idea. Not enough juice. Not enough ketchup. And this is actually one of the holes, low key. It's actually one of the holes that, like, this hole looks very easy, right? Big green, pin is in the middle. I mean, not crazy of a win every time. I get very aggressive, and this ball, when it lands on the green, it just doesn't stop. It just speeds up the hill, and I water it more times than you would think. So I'm thinking we do bite uphill. We're gonna be 10 yards short on the land, but hoping this would stop in the hole. Oh my, that was a pretty good idea. All right, so I need to stop getting aggressive is where I was getting at. This is a little different than the first set, right? Like the old look, you can always lay it on top of this hill. I believe it plays like heavy rough. Don't quote me on that. I could be wrong. Or deep grass. I like to go for this shot, put it right here, 7 driver, get a long look, and after this, I mean, there's not a lot to say about this hole. Just put it out there, let it trickle down. And let's see, 297. It's pretty good. Land. Stop. Pretty good. 18-mile-an-hour wind. 277 club landed at 317, 40 yards, which is insane. So yeah, this hole, different. I think it's tougher. Now that I think about it, it might make some folks play like a 2-iron, a low iron, maybe 3 hybrid, right? I'm not sure if I'm gonna make that change, but I have seen setups where it's like 250, 260 yards with 20 in your face or 18 in your face. For those, I've been going for like a 3-wood with bite and just send it out to the wind and let the wind take care of the ball. I haven't been trying to get aggressive with this hole at all because this hole will eat you alive for sure. Sometimes you can also go for like turning the opposite direction of the wind and just letting the ball sail down to the green, land with bite, trickle down. But this is one of those that I don't think I'm going for that shot. I'm gonna try to hit it into the wind with a swerve, so left to right. And by the time it gets there, it will have some left momentum and trickle down, I think. So this is a lot of wind for this club. 8-wood is gonna go pretty high. I'm thinking about low teeing this, hitting a massive swerve, and finding the middle of the green. For holes like this, Stouts will definitely play better, although the wind will have its effect on Stouts also. So be on the lookout. Try to keep these last few holes as simple as possible if you can. No reason to get risky, especially during tournament play. So yeah, let's do it. Hope we can drill this into the hole, but my main goal is to keep it dry. Alrighty, I'm gonna take a look at the green one last time. We're trying to imagine where I really want to land this ball, and I think I have an idea. So if you were to slow it down, and let's replay, let's take a look. So we're gonna watch the flight path. As you can see, it's going left to right. And as it gets closer to the green, it starts picking that right to left wind, right? And it just makes it a lot easier for you. And luckily we selected low T. That kind of killed the wind a little bit, right? And that helped us, excuse me, that helped us control the ball a lot better, because the flight path, there's such a huge drop during the flight path from the tee, from the tee box to the pin. So we want to try to control that path as much as we can when there's that much high wind, especially if it's downhill on a downslope green. This hole, this look definitely looks a lot easier. And I'm pretty sure now that I'm saying that, I'm going to probably par this. But I've seen some nasty looks. I've seen looks where the pin was all the way in the back to the left with left to right wind. I've seen looks all the way down right with right to left 20 or 18, whatever it was. But this is definitely one of the easier ones. A lot of down to the right slope. So right 10. This wind is about right 5.5, right 6. But there's a big drop. Well, not as much as 17, right? There's drop in elevation right here. So using something like a 10.5 right here would be my option. But if we had the 9.5 that I was talking about, could have been a good shot. But what I'm gonna do is I'm probably gonna swerve into the wind and try to balance or equalize the wind and the flight, okay? And when it lands with backspin on the green, it'll try to drag back using the right 10 into the hole. This is just, I'm speaking out loud or thinking out loud. So that would be my shot. So 311, we got to gain 27 yards, 13 behind us. Should be no issues. I'm thinking about maybe high 125s or high 120s right here, maybe 127. So if I can find that, that might even be too much, but let's find out together. Let's find out together. So 122 and land. That kind of, the fringe bounce kind of killed us. Anytime you land on the fringe or rough, your ball will take a huge jump, but fringe more than rough on the jump. So, I mean, it worked out perfect, 28 yards, left 10. You just got to make that putt and move on. Please make that putt. All righty, good game. Let's go. One mistake. I can't remember where it was. Let's move on to the challenging course that is now challenging. And I think this is one course where Stouts will have a hard time. On Gunnison, you know, that's one of the courses where Stouts will have a hard time. However, it's such a tough course. So Cosmos players can make a mistake because tough course, tough setups, with tough wind, right? So Cosmos players make a mistake, game gets easier, tad bit easier for Gunnison. So maybe that's like an equalizer, right? But on this one, we got lucky. We have a decent look on hole one. But this hole one, I have seen it at like 450 yards. So Cosmos players can get there. Stouts, doubt it, right? You can try to place your ball in a spot where you can click chip. Hole 18 is very tough. Long looks, wind in your face, 380 to the hole. So I'm not saying stop using Stouts. Use whatever you want to do. Use whatever you want to use, but just giving my side of, giving my opinion on this course. And even with Cosmos, this course has definitely gotten a lot harder. All right, let's get into it. Elkhorn, hole one, pretty straightforward. 180 to the hole, and little points maybe, nope. 6 feet. There are certain holes, like I said, 18 being one of them, tough. 10, 13, 15 is definitely different. I will show the club set I use for this course. It is just slightly different. All I have is a gap wedge instead of a sand wedge. I have a 7 hybrid and I have a 9 wood. And I will explain as we go why I have those different clubs when we get to those holes. Alrighty, wind a little right to left. I want to land, kind of like hit this maybe naked. I want to land and just go straight to the hole. Naked, a little right to left swerve. Just pull back, tiny pull back to the right, and straight thumbs forward, and good shot. It's not always gonna go in. So, another one. Another one of the holes that's just very different, hole 9. That's about now, it's about 300 plus. I haven't seen it shorter than that, so it's pretty tough. Hole 11, or is it hole 10? Hole 11, it's never gettable anymore, right? So that's where Stouts kind of come into play. Your opponent can't gain a stroke on that. And trying to think, hole 10 could be a disadvantage or an advantage for either side, and I will explain why. So hole 10 is a coin flip. So we'll get to it. I will explain why for those of you that don't play it or that don't play as much or that haven't been able to play since the new tees came out. Alrighty, we need 9 wood to do 8 wood things right here. This is gonna be a shove, no pull back, and try to use the slope. And as always, 9 wood does 8 wood things when it comes to distance. Elevation, it definitely goes higher than 8 wood. Distance, exactly the same thing as 9 wood, for sure. All right, this one, I like hitting this ball naked. Some wind in our face, elevation drop. It's kind of good breaks for the ball. So just put it out there, 180. Just let the ball do its own thing. No reason to get cute when the pin is that close to the edge. I'm getting very thirsty here. Holy. And this hole, I feel like there wasn't really a lot of, like a big difference between the last set and this set. You have this look still, and you have the other look where you're up on the hill and you can click chip straight down. So that's a little interesting. Like I said, there's pretty much no difference. But, you know, I just work here, so. All right, 107, 97 to the hole. That's about 10 yards over. I like the 11 kind of in our face. This is about 8 and 8. So 8 in our face, 8 to the right. Shots like this, I like to turn, move over a little bit, and hit like a high tee bite with my plus irons. This is why I have these plus irons on this course. I feel like the setups are more suitable for those clubs. All right, let's try it. Bring it back. Not the plus spin kicked in, but you know, not as much. Maybe backspin, it could have been backspin, but then I think I would have had to hit it definitely a lot harder. Couple different looks here. Different opportunities, different shots you can come up with, whatever you want to call it. You can always lay up on this part of the fairway, right here where the marker is, right before the snow or between two snow patches. You can always try to drive it up past this fairway into this big gap there. Personal shot selection here for me is to drive straight up to this fairway with high tee release. Again, kills the bounce, sticks pretty good. Hit it up there, and longest I've been to the hole from that spot is about 320, like the old spot. But in the old set, we had the opportunity to drive it all the way down. So this is still pretty good. No risk, even if you kind of slide off the green, you're on the rough. You can still overhit a club and get there. No issues. Again, straight shot, my favorite, right? I mean, not dead straight, but you know, it's got a little bit of a break to it. This is just perfect for my game, right? I like the straight shots better. I feel like it gives me more opportunity to hole out, and those usually, like, I'm gonna lay up for those shots if I can. Alrighty, let's try to bring this back. That looks pretty good. Good shot, good 180. Might be slightly off to the left on the forward swing, but we'll take it. Yeah, different looks, different set. I feel maybe, I'm not sure if this was like the original set, like back in the day, right? But I have a feeling these 3 square tee boxes was the old set, the original, right? Couple different things I try on this hole. You can turn and hit a full, much riskier, right? If the wind is right to left and you have this same look, right, where you can see a part of the green, you can hit a high tee a little to the right and let the wind bring it back. In this case, we have left to right, all the way in the back, which is kind of good because we have to find because now we can find a landing spot somewhere on the green, right? We don't have to get that cute. Land it somewhere on the green and just let the ball slow down. That's all you need in this instance, right? Okay, enough talking. So here I'm thinking, usually I can overpower a 4-wood on a decent setup, I can overpower a 4-wood and it will go, I want to say 320 yards, right? This is a little tough. I see the trees in the back. 3-wood, we can hit 3-wood. It will go 350, but it goes a lot lower on the flight path, the elevation, so that when it lands on the green, it might not have time to slow down. I think eventually, ultimately, 4-wood is our shot here. And even if, listen, even if it doesn't get there, it can trickle down. I just don't want it to hit the back face of that mountain, right? But there are some trees. Sorry, this is taking a long time because I want to kind of try to cover everything. I didn't want that turn. So I wanted it to turn even more because I want to show you guys the trees that are back to the left. You can try to, maybe we'll see it from here. Wish Kevin Lindsay gave me, you see these trees? Okay, there's a set of trees. There's the sand bunker on the left, right? You can try to clip those trees on purpose and it will slow your ball down. You get a bounce, you'll be good to land on the green. So, all right, like I said, enough talking. I'm gonna try to hit like a dead straight shot. We have some wind left to right. I don't want to get close or aggressive with this hole, okay? I just want somewhere on the green, or I'm okay with being in the sand right here. That's a little short. See, hit the tree. I definitely didn't hit what I intended to hit. This was like a 140, 142. That's what it needed. That's what this hole needed, but I didn't hit that. All righty. 7 hybrid, I think, is the shot here. I'm probably gonna hit one less click than I normally would. So this normally would be an 8 clicker for me. I'm gonna do 7. I'm treating this like I'm playing in a tournament match and gonna play it safe and try to keep the ball as close to the hole as possible. And if I make it, that's a bonus. But I'm in no way or shape, I'm trying to lay this up. There it is. I mean, even if it didn't go, right? Notice how slow the ball is traveling when it lands, right? Because if I miss it, I don't want to just give up 2 strokes. Then you're probably getting, I'm trying to remember the drop. The drop is not cute either. So the drop is about 15 yards. So you're still getting a tough setup. All right. Yep, hole 9, par 3, very long for a par 3. It's a little interesting, but you can notice the older tee boxes, right? There's one down here. Oh, so if you change clubs, I don't know if you guys knew this, if you change clubs and hold the left and right buttons together, you can get different looks. So if you do putter, then you get a closer look on the bird's eye, right? So this tee box right here, it's about 75 yards. I mean, so this would have been a 250 yard par 3. That's normal. I feel like this is a little longer than usual. It is a little interesting, but I don't mind it. So let's move on. Good shot. I mean, good setup right here. I like the win. I like the 8.5. Dead straight thumbs. Let the ball do its job. Yeah, I liked it all the way through. Alrighty, so this is where the holes kind of get start to get tougher. I wanted to talk about this. So there's been certain setups where maybe like marker is about right there, maybe even shorter, right? And it'd be like wind in the face, right? I think the other day it was 300 and I would say 370 to the landing zone, right? 360, wind in the face. I could, as a Cosmos player, or Cosmos can get with release, high T release or high T roll, can still get across, even with that wind in the face. So with Stouts, I'm not sure. This is what I was talking about at the beginning of this video, because I'm thinking that's where the swing is gonna come in, right? There's gonna be swing right here. They can get across, or listen, you can try to land over here, which half the time it is the option. More, I guess, more opportunity or possibility to make a mistake in water. And on the other hand, there's been setups where you can only go to this island, okay? You gotta land on the island, but there's a lot of crosswind. So when there's crosswind, you can't get across. That much crosswind, for Cosmos, that's gonna be a big disadvantage. For Stouts, that's gonna be an advantage. So I can already see the swing come in on this hole. So I'm excited to see what's gonna happen and how much gameplay is gonna happen on this course at Worlds. So should be very interesting. I mean, 7 driver just goes so far, man. So far. Alrighty. I want to make this. So let's make it. Go. Come on. I don't normally like to show those, but all right. This hole, I mean, we all know, right? Took a big hit. It was gettable at times with Stouts. You would use the 7 driver, ramp it up. It's not anymore. Did I say Stouts? I meant Cosmos. So yeah, pretty different. I think pretty decent look. Just easy peasy, move on, take your medicine type of shot here, type of hole. So let's do it. I kind of like the punch. 11 behind us, even though it's not gonna be much, it's still gonna help us pick up a few yards here. I'm liking it. But we're still gonna have to thumb it a little right, I think, because this ball is gonna break. The ball's not gonna, and it's not gonna get as high. So, all right, just a little bit. Oh my God, that was too much. Good idea, good distance control. Didn't want to hit the 8. Felt like it would have gone too far. So, all right, different look, right? Super elevated, a lot longer. We used to see setups that were like 60 yards on this hole. So I like it. Thank you, IT. Thank you for changing it up a little bit, right? Definitely makes it easier for Stouts. Again, so this is that swing, you know. I like how they're, you know, equalizing stuff, but the hole 1 and I guess hole 1 and 18 are the biggest setup killers when it's a matchup between Stouts and Cosmos. Turn ball. Get in. I don't even know how long it's been, honestly. Oh, we're at a 1 hour and 8 minute mark. I think we're doing good. I'm accomplishing what I wanted to as far as making this video, because I didn't want it to be rushed or anything. So hopefully you guys are still in, right? I'm briefly going to talk after this game. I'm briefly going to talk about Worlds, what I'm doing to prepare, and the schedule. So if you stick around, or if you're still here, I appreciate you. And again, don't forget to drop a comment. Don't forget to share this with your peeps at the bar that are trying to. No. Oh my God. That might be looking to get better at the game, right? So always comments, shares, likes, always appreciate it. I really like this look, hitting over the hill and laying it up there, but I feel like we did get a little bit of screwage, even though I have a feeling I can just get it out of here. I don't know, driver 7? I've never used that. Driver 8 looks pretty good. I'm gonna do a little bite and turn with a full and hair out. Worked out, let's go. I like that. Wow, listen, I really didn't think that it would end up behind that tree like that. And we keep getting easier looks too. This hole mainly was one of the holes that I really wanted to talk about, because I want to say I probably played about 10 or 12 games on this course, and every time the pin has been on the top right side with huge wind, longer setup, 650 yards. So it's harder to set up your approach shot perfectly, right? That's what I wanted to talk about, but it doesn't give us much opportunity, and this video is taking forever. So let's just move on. Maybe we'll play more games on this course later on and explain all the looks. I got too greedy right there. Too greedy. Okay. Flop click chip. There was no reason to get this aggressive. Could have been a bite shot, right? Flop click chip, usually 1 yard per click, 1 click per yard for me. Do I want to do 7? I think I want to do 7 here for gap wedge. 7. Please go. Get in. Move on. There was no reason to do any of that. This is one of those holes where I put the 9 wood in, right? So this look, I could definitely, if there was wind behind me instead of in my face, if this was tailwind, I probably could have crushed a 9 wood, hit it over the trees and get it out there. That's not gonna happen. This setup, I'm definitely hitting a full around this, around these trees here, and moving on. So this is probably a 5 full half. So I'm gonna pull past the A, the tip of the triangle. So full A, and I'm gonna throw this out. Try to get around the trees basically, right? So full half should be pretty good here. If we were to watch that, clears the trees. The second set of trees, you don't have to worry about those. So works out pretty good, safer option. And I mean, I guess after this, you just gotta make this chip. And I mean, that wind was dead in the face. So if there's any wind, so think of that same amount of wind, right? But a little to the left, it definitely helps you in the long run. This hole, I haven't really tried to drive it up the hill. I don't think it's necessary. I've been going for this island up top. There is an old look where back in the day, the boomers used to land right there, and that's rough. So it's not grass, it's a rough texture. So it could be a little harder of a shot, right? I've tried it one time, I don't like it. I'll try to lay up on here as much as I can. Try it out, let me know how it turns out for you, or let me know if you have another shot. Works out pretty good every time. The only problem you might have if you overhit it, you're in the rough or you're in the heavy rough, then that creates issues. So hope it doesn't for you though, and hope you crush it. Turn. Not enough juice. Definitely had to hit this harder. Got lazy. Probably required like 130. So when I was talking about the clubs, this is definitely why I have a gap wedge instead of a sand wedge, right? Makes this hole a lot easier. I've seen nasty setups here, especially when the pin is right there where the marker is. Makes everything easier. Gap wedge, super. So if you were playing sand wedge and you're okay with it, no need to change it, but that's just my side of things. So this is 5 to the left, moving about 3. High T. I mean, I like this, honestly. Decent thumbs here, landed on top, let the ball come back on its own, and points. I'm kidding. All right, last hole. Last hole. So, good look here. I'm liking it. For Stouts and Cosmos, for both. Like I said, there are some, are they there now? No, they're not. So there are some looks where it's just very long, at least 380 yards with wind in the face. This hole, I mean, this hill right here, right is in the middle of your shot. So for both parts, the shot can get hard, but I've seen more setups where like, I'm like, what the Stouts players are gonna do here. So it can get pretty tough. I'm pretty sure you guys have seen it also. So be on the lookout. This is pretty good. Let's see. Thinking about a high T bite option here with a swerve, a lot of wind. Let the wind do its work, right? I'm aiming to land at the top of this green and let that natural path, right? Use that natural path and go towards the hole. Not trying to get aggressive. This probably gonna require like maybe 130. So hoping to hit that here and finish the job. Let's go. Slow it down. And like perfect, right? Just using the wind to my advantage, sending the ball out there. It did get a little risky, right? Because we hit the high side. My goal was to hit the middle side, but works out pretty good. No reason to hit it short or water it, right? Yep, worked out. Let's go. I think, I can't remember, was this par? Maybe? One off? good game. Okay. Yeah, so a couple things we're going to talk about before we end the video. First of all, I appreciate you tuning in and watching. Thank you for being here. This is only my second video. I feel like it's getting better every time. For those of you that don't know, I used to do this all the time, right? I played Golden Tee for two and a half years, I believe. After COVID, I gave it a break and I fell in love with video gaming. Then I ended up becoming a content creator. I would post Call of Duty videos all the time. I would stream Call of Duty or other video games at home for a living for, I would say, full-time for about a year and a half and part-time for about 2 years. So that's what I was doing while I was gone from Golden Tee. So that kind of explains the 4.5 year break between COVID and me coming back early 2025. So this is what I do. We're gonna do a lot more cool stuff. I have so many ideas, but you gotta realize I have to play games at Vector to get ready for Worlds. I have a full-time job and me and my wife have a beautiful 19-month-old daughter. So, you know, not much time in my hands, but I'm trying to bring you guys the best content possible. So again, super stoked. 2 weeks away from Worlds. I'm gonna put the schedule right here on the screen. You can see everything. So personally, I will be there June 11th. Very excited for the doubles tournament. Last time I played doubles, I think it was my very first tournament in 2018 in Houston. Speedrun qualifier. Also, let's mention it. Paul Taylor, shout out to him. He made a walkthrough or playthrough or speed through for the speedrun. If you want to qualify, the code is on the Livewire website. So I will drop the link in the description below. You can read the news article that they posted. There's a code in there. You can, using that code, you can practice and get ready to play the speedrun. Also, search for Paul Taylor's speedrun video on YouTube. I believe his channel is named Paul Taylor. Yeah, check it out. Some cool stuff. He's showcasing how the course is gonna play, the qualifier one, where everybody's gonna have to play to qualify when we get there Thursday. I think you have Friday to qualify also. And then the speed run is Friday night. So check it out. It's on Desert Valley. It's fun. And then the doubles tournament that starts at 3 o'clock. I will be there, very excited. This doubles tournament is open to everybody. So I definitely encourage you to show up if you think, hey, I don't have a Worlds Pass and I don't want to be there if I'm not going to play in it. Let me tell you, my first Worlds tournament, first time I went to one, I didn't have a Worlds Pass. And I still showed up just for the game, for the love of the game. I watched and witnessed some greatness because, I mean, everybody was pretty dominant. The field was super stacked. And that's when I watched Mark Stenmark win his second World Championship. June 12th, let's see, open play. Yep, I'll be there very early in the morning. Again, you can qualify for the speed run. There's Silver Strike stuff is happening. If you're into that game, go ahead. And for those of you that don't have Worlds Passes and don't want to go, you have 2 chances. You can play a 3-course qualifier. And I think for now, it's 1 spot. So if you're the top qualifier out of the 3 courses, only players that are not qualified for Worlds already play those 3 courses. And whoever is the best, they take him in, right? But I believe if somebody drops, don't quote me on this, if somebody drops, they add the spot for that 3-course qualifier. Then at 6 o'clock, there's gonna be last chance close to the pin qualifier when you don't have to win the tournament. You only have to place within the top, let's say 4 or top 6. Last year, I believe it was 6 spots. And once you do that, you're in, baby. And then June 13th, we all know, 5 courses, Worlds qualifier, and June 13th being Saturday night. Then there's the top 8 of speedrun bracket. Championship starts the next day. Very excited. I'm personally doing a lot of preparation, creating my own creative courses where I think where my weaknesses are. Try to play those. I play a lot of invites. Try to go to the Vector room and play a lot of games there. I'm trying to work on my mental side of the game, right? Where I think it's my biggest weakness. Definitely that's something that I recently started focusing more on. Let's see how it turns out. Very excited. It's gonna be my second ever World Championship participation. Let me know in the comments what you wanna see next. Share this with a friend. Thank you and have a good rest of your day.